Now, Bryce, if you do not fix this problem, you will never make it to the NBA. You for sure have some work to do, but man, this one hurts. As many of you may know, Bryce James is the youngest son of NBA superstar LeBron James, and he's been making waves in the basketball world with his impressive skill and natural talent. Now, of course, at just 15 years old, Bryce has already received a D1 basketball offer from Duquesne University, who I'm not gonna lie, no one knows that school like that, but it's crazy that even at that age, he's able to get one of these offers and kind of shows just how impressive and good of a prospect he is. Now, many people are even saying that he is better than his older brother Bronny, which I, in my opinion, would beg to argue. But what makes Bryce such a special talent is for sure his height. Now, of course, standing at 6'6" with a crazy wingspan, and he's definitely super eager to attack the basket and even grab rebounds, it does make him a very attractive prospect, and he's of course more of a big man hooper. Now, he's also a skilled shooter with a nice mid-range jumper, and he can knock down the three for sure. Even Bron had stated that he was the best shooter in the family, which definitely gives credibility and some validation to how good of a shooter he is. Now, with still being only around 15 years old, I definitely think he has even more time to get a crazy growth spurt and even become a player like maybe Kevin Durant or even Bron hybrid, where he has that height and the athleticism, but also can just shoot the ball and really at that point becomes unguardable. Now, it's not only Bryce's physical ability that really allow him to stand out, but he also has a really high IQ and really a strong work ethic for the game. Now, the fact that he's already playing varsity basketball for Sierra Canyon and even on the same team with his brother Bronny clearly shows how dedicated and how strong of a work ethic he has. Now, in addition to this, of course, I think a huge factor in how talented Bryce is and really how he just overall moves on the court is the pressure that is on him. We have to remember, even Sports Illustrated came out with stuff about Bronny and Bryce being the chosen sons of LeBron James. And being at 15 years old, getting this type of attention and pressure is insane. Now, of course, I'm not going to lie. We all know I think Bronny had it worse, in my opinion, than Bryce, because Bronny was the first son and everyone was looking at him, and pretty much he had no guide to go from besides LeBron, where Bryce, of course, can learn from Bronny's mistakes and also just overall move in a smarter way because he has that reference. Now, in addition to this, Bron, of course, also is putting pressure on these guys by stating that he wants to play with his sons in the future. Now, as a father, I definitely can't blame LeBron because that's just dope, and of course will be the first time this has ever happened that we've seen father and son be able to play on the same team. But then again, I think it just really hypes up the stakes for these sons to really perform and be solid basketball players, because if they don't and are not able to make this sort of adjustment and really be top players in their class and in the country, man, they are going to hear about it for sure. Now, if you do enjoy these types of videos, feel free to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 15,000 subscribers and are trying to do it in a breaking record 24 hours. So up the channel and subscribe now. Now, compared to LeBron at this age, Bryce James definitely, of course, resembles his height for sure. Bron was about 6'4" in high school and was averaging around 20 points plus his entire basketball career and that in high school career, and that number only continued to go up. Now, what's crazy about this, when we look at Bronny James as well, he is standing at around 6'2", 6'3", super athletic, but I gotta be honest, Bronny at this age was playing varsity basketball. He was on the varsity team and was getting some decent playing time. Now, when we take a look at Bryce, of course, he does have that height similar to LeBron. I think he has less of the athleticism and just overall is more of a big man than a guard. But at the end of the day, I gotta be honest when I say this, Bryce is not really getting playing time like that for Sierra Canyon. Now, I think this is a dark truth because a lot of people off the bat just want to say that Bryce is much better than Bronny. Look at his height, look at his shooting. But at the end of the day, when we talk about how advanced a player is compared to his overall teammates and what he's really doing on the court, we can't argue the fact that Bronny was just getting more playing time at this age with no comparison. The Sierra Canyon team that was previously there was much better than the current one. You had people like Brandon Boston, Zaire Williams, guys who are in the NBA right now, versus people who currently on Sierra Canyon are good, but it's definitely nowhere near the talent level that it is right now. And even people like Amari Bailey were on that squad as well. Man, it's definitely tough to see that Bryce James is not getting PT like that. But I think what we also need to remember is what NBA scouts are looking at. Now, the reason why people say Bryce is much better than Bronny, in my opinion, is purely the height difference. When we look at the height, and even people that are getting drafted in the NBA look at it, you have people like Chet Holmgren, Paolo Banchero, a ton of these guys who are tall and can shoot the basketball. And even Victor as well, the upcoming pick, the big top NBA pick, we see that the NBA is looking to draft taller players who have guard-like skills. And this is what I think personally separates Bronny and Bryce, is the fact that Bryce has that potential right now, being that he's only 6'6" at 15 years old, to fill that sort of role to where he can shoot the ball but also dribble and be somewhat of a guard. Or Bronny, of course, being 6'3", you guys know how difficult it is to be a 6' to 6'3" guard in the NBA. You have to be that much better when you don't have the crazy height that other players do. And man, to be honest, Bronny right now is a 4-star recruit, I do believe. And even with all the athleticism that he has, still being a 4-star recruit, because at the end of the day, if you're not the best at 6' to 6'3", man, you're just going to be another generic NBA player. Now, Bryce, if you do not fix this problem, you will never make it to the NBA. You for sure have some work to do, but man, this one hurts. Now, of course, Bryce definitely has the ability, in my opinion, to even be the best player on Sierra Canyon, but what's holding him back really is that mentality. Being at 6'6", there is no reason why you can't be dominating high school competition, but I think, of course, another factor as well is the playing time. This coach that they currently have is not really giving Bryce that much burn, which in turn, if you're not playing that much, it's going to be hard for you to affect these games. Now, with that being said, I think as Bryce continues to develop and get a little bit older, the coach is going to start giving him some more playing time. He's kind of going to be able to fill his shoes, really get even stronger and more athletic, and I think that's then soon enough we'll see Bryce as a 5-star recruit and really, in my opinion, surpass what Bronny did in high school. Now, even moving forward into the future in college, we all know all eyes are going to be on Bryce, as of course, the son of an NBA legend, people are going to be wondering and really questioning how good of a player is he, and will he live up to his father's expectations. Now, by the time Bryce is actually a senior, odds are the rule that people have to be 1 year removed from the NBA will no longer be a thing, which technically means he might not even have to go to college and will be able to go straight to the NBA. Now, in my opinion, I think the majority of hoopers, especially in high school, are not ready to make that jump from high school to the NBA. But if he really wants to play with his father, and again, that will be around 2026 when he's eligible for the NBA, man, Bron will be old. You guys know, as players get older, especially in the NBA, a lot of time their game starts to decline. And of course, they're just not the same as they were. Their bodies are not the same, and their mentality and even IQ do not work the same. But at that point, Bron would be pretty old waiting for Bryce to make it and actually team up with him, which in my opinion, at this point, I think it's kind of unlikely to say that the two will play together. Now, did you know Bryce's brother Bronny also has a major problem that may cause his career to be over? Well, click this video on the screen to find out exactly what that problem is.